also has been merged with another group, which is the Education Resource Directory group. Yeah, so we're going to briefly describe what are the purpose of this group, what we try to achieve. So the original idea is to try to collect and curate project-based teaching and learning material. Yeah, so, and we want to see if the community can contribute. Yes, and when they contribute, they will be able to look at them, curate them, and make them available in a repository. So the group is not going to develop. We might develop some material, but we are asking the community, okay, to provide, okay, these material. Yes. Also, we are going to see that the approach that we would like to take, it's a project-based learning and teaching techniques. So we are going to try to follow a model, a teaching model, and we're going to see how this model can be adapted to develop data science material and coursework. And then when we have this, we'll be able to make these resources available on a repository. For now, repository is just a portal, yes, that we developed as a prototype. So these are the different tasks, okay, that we wanted to follow. The group divided the project in these different subtasks. So we wanted to know a little bit more about project-based learning. So, and we wanted to be sure that we are using the right definition, because we have a mix between a course that is developing a project and a course that follows a particular method. Yes, and this problem-based or project-based learning technique has been already studied. So we wanted to be sure and look at literature to be sure that we align, okay, with what people have found already with the research that have been conducted. Then the next step was to try to find, okay, if there are some process that allow us to convert our data science curriculum or course into a project-based learning. Yes, this is the second task that we try to do. And then this is related to what Carl was presenting. Yes, so in fact, this was the original idea of Carl, is to try to map the competencies from the ICM guideline, okay, to the problem project-based learning and teaching techniques. So I'm going to show you the details later. The next objective was to collect some references or link of example, yes, that are applicable to data science. So we are going to see a lot of references of projects and portals that are already, okay, developing this kind of material. We also wanted to give the opportunity to faculty and teachers, yeah, to integrate some modules, okay, that are culturally responsive and also exercised into the current coursework. Yeah, so instead of developing a whole course, maybe a social science course might integrate just a module instead of a whole course. And the last task is to develop this portal where people can go and make references and look at the different resources that we are finding. Yes, we're going to put them in the same location. So to get started, so I mentioned to you, we wanted to look at the pedagogy of this project-based learning technique. Yeah, so there is a process. I'm going to show you in more details how this works. We provided in this slide also the link to the portal where we are going to post additional material. So I'm going to provide more detail about this pedagogy. So the next task, what we wanted to do, okay, after looking at the problem, a project-based learning and teaching elements. Yes, it was important to find out how this methodology, the teaching methodology and learning works. So as you can see, this is in green, yes, the green circle. But we wanted also to be sure that the student, when we are going to develop these project-based learning, they incorporate, okay, all the student learning outcomes. This is what Carl was mentioning before. So this also is coming from the same document, the SEM document, okay? And the SEM document, you are going to see, so they classify in different categories: application, data acquisition, data analysis. So these are the core, okay, what we want to do. We want to be sure that when we complete the cycle or okay, and using this project-based learning, okay, following the methodology. So the methodology of project-based learning is we need to define a challenging question. It has to be authentic or culturally responsive. The student and the teacher should work continuously, okay, to inquire. Yes, the student should be engaged and has a voice in defining this project. The student also is going to create some artifacts. Let's see what the artifacts that Carl was presenting before. Yes, at each stage of the project, there are some artifacts. The student should be able to make a reflection, an analysis of this artifact. And maybe this is going to connect to what we saw before, because when these artifacts are generated, the student will be able after to present this artifact, to build these portfolios, yes, and they're going to present to what Carl was presenting now, a different type of audience, yes. And so these are the principle or the main element of the project-based learning. So now we understand what are the student learning outcomes, yes, and then we understand what are the elements of the problem of project-based learning approaches. So now we want to integrate these with the data life cycle. So what you see is the outside circle: data collection, cleaning, exploration, yeah, etc. So now, in order to do this, yes, we wanted to do a kind of a mapping. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how we are going to try to map everything together and to provide some information to somebody who wants to develop a new curriculum, yes, or a new course, for example. So in this particular slides, what you are going to see, yes. So as I'm mentioning to Carl, yes, because I saw this in August, yes. And when we started this working group, I look at the ABET, so these two commissions, yes. In fact, they have the same. They come up with the same criteria. Yeah, they consolidated all the criteria. So we wanted now to find out now how we can look at the knowledge areas, yeah, that are defined in the SEM. I'm going to click, and it should bring us to another slide. Yes. So you can see on your left-hand side, yeah, this is all the knowledge areas, yes, that are listed in the ABET, okay, criteria that are defining. In fact, if you look at these, they match perfectly with what the SEM document is doing. And then what you see as a column, yes, are the different, okay, life cycle concept, yes, that are defined. So what you see in green here, these are the fundamental elements or topics of the data science life cycle, yes. And then you have some concepts that are listed across the life cycle, yes, like data ethics, okay, governance, security, statistics. And the last one, what you see, okay, is the most advanced concept courses, yes. So what we try to do, we look at the document, and we try to find out, okay, in this mapping at each tier. So what you see here, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. tier 1 in the document SEM means these are the skills or knowledge that all the students when they graduate should have. Yes. So when we do the mapping, I think we should focus more instead of focusing on all of the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. We should focus on all the tier 1 first. Yes. So this will provide an idea for somebody who wants to develop a new curriculum. If they want to impact all the tier 1 for each cycle of each step of the data science life cycle, they can go around and they can see what is the knowledge area, and what phase they are in the data life cycle, and what level they want to achieve, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Yes. So what you see. I'm going to go back to the presentation. Let me know if you have a question, guys. And about this table.
If you were sharing another visualization, we still see the map of competencies as the main screen.
Which one you see? You don't see the
PO3. PO3 is what we're looking at. Yes.
Yeah, is the I was sharing another one, but is the description of this table. Yes.
We did not see that one, but we see PO3.
Yeah, and see, it's the same table, but I make it bigger because there is no text. So yeah. I don't know if you're able, can you read some? Okay, so I'm going to go to the next step. So the next step is the collection, so the creation of the repository. So you're going to see, so we went through a different program and we look at the courses and we try to extract and share with the community the one that has the most culturally responsible. Yes. And also you're going to see you have a couple of pilot courses that have been developed by the members of this working group. And these are also available. I'm going to show you, the website, but you can look and directly and I can look at the project later. Yes. So the next step also, in addition to the courses, we wanted to develop some module. So this is, and this module will be able to be used and embedded in some existing data science courses. Yes. Also, you can use this module as a capstone project. Yes. And it's important also to define, since you have many type of data science projects. So it can be clustering, it can be classification, it can be association. So it's important for the potential users who wants to adapt this kind of module of capstone project. Yes, that they can select eventually the type of machine learning or technique that they want to eventually to exemplify in order to present this project to the students. So it can be, as I say, some can be clustering, association, and classification. So the last activity was to start to develop this portal. Yes. So I'm going to click on the portal. You're going to see, I'm going to escape, share my screen again. Can you see my screen now? This is the portal.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. So this is the current version that has been developed. So you can look at what is a PBL, yes, how to get started, yes, how to implement a project-based learning project. So these are the, if you want to, okay, incorporate, okay, the project-based learning technique, yes. You see what I just explained to you. The mapping will be the table that I just presented to you. So we'll need to eventually provide additional explanation how to use this. Some example, okay, and you have example also of project and module you can adapt. Yeah. And
can you add the
finish
link to the Etherpad or to the chat?
Of the, yes, okay, let me put the link. You want me to type the link? Okay. Okay.
You can go ahead if you had other things to say.
Okay, so these are the progress for this working group, and I just wanted to share at the end, okay, the list of group members, yes, that have worked on this project. That's all for me. If you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? I think this is really thank you, Marc, and for the whole group. You know, this is a really good resource, and we can, you know, help with expanding. So, do people have questions? Do they have things that you would add or interest in looking at these project-based teaching? Are people teaching them, and how you put them together? If no one has a question, I do. But if someone has a question, I would like you to ask it first.
I may have missed this, but what are your next steps for the group and how can individuals get involved with your work?
You just need to to volunteer and join the group.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a couple of missing pieces on the website. So I would have to go and look at all of our tasks, but our tasks were broken down into individuals and different little subgroups. But it's just a matter of emailing us and letting us know that you want to get involved. And we have extra things we can do, definitely.
Yeah. So I had a question about your strategy. What is the group strategy? Part of it is the getting community input or people to input about their project-based teaching. Is there a strategy for outreach and how that might go ahead? We can also, you know, talk to the larger group as well and the South Hub. So I'm just interested, does the group have a strategy for outreaching for community engagement in this?
So the strategy now is to complete, before inviting the community, is to complete the work first, I believe. And then I think when we have enough material posted on the website, we can release and we can invite, I think, the community to participate. You know?
Nice.
If Florent, you want to say something else? No?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. We still have a few little tasks to get done, but I am not aware of an outreach strategy, but that would be a really good area for anyone wanted to get involved to help with an outreach strategy. We've been just focusing on getting it done,
Mhm.
And we know that we're going to have to engage the community, but I don't know that we actually have a strategy done.
Well, we'll have it. This is really good, and that's part of one of the things we can try and help with at the end when you get to a place. I think that's part of one of the things that the hub in general can help with. So this is really good. I like the portal. And so, are there thoughts about the mapping? You said that mapping to come, about how you would undertake mapping the competencies or showing competency mapping. This is something we've been thinking about in other groups. So it's actually quite salient for the guidelines to project-based learning.
Okay, so the mapping, if you want to do the mapping, it's going to be similar to what we try to accomplish. Each project is going to be different. When somebody wants to start a new project, yes, they will have to decide what kind of knowledge area, yes, and they want to the student to learn, yes. So, and this will depend now on assessment. So it's going to be tied to what Carl was presented before. And then we have to look at the different step of the data science life cycle, yes, and see at what level or what tier they want to reach, yes. And we'll have, again, to create this artifact, work with the student. The student will have to create this artifact, yes, that Carl was mentioned before, yes, and the communication of all the artifacts that will be created during the data life cycle, yes, and they will have to decide what will be assessed. But in the assessment criteria, you're going to see what Carl put in his slides at the beginning. This is what the ABET accreditation is asking the program to assess. Yeah, so I think we have to work now with the assessment group as well. Yes, and to see how we can eventually tie this table with the assessment component of the data science.
Definitely. Okay, so we have 5 minutes. Are there any kind of points, not only questions, but comments or from the group on the 2 working groups? I thank you both. You got all of the group members as well as the 2 presenters. And yeah, this was great information. Thank you, Erin. It's awesome.